from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
We made it.
God bless.
It's Friday. From the ups and downs of the Max Crosby drama, the roller coaster, to the action coming to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway this weekend. We're breaking it all down on Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mike Davis.
And I'm Mariah. Janos, there's lots to get to today, but first things first, we got to talk about UNLV as the Runnin Rebels had their season come to a close just yesterday. Third time was the charm for the Aggies, taking down UNLV 80-60 was the final score in the second round of the Mountain West Conference tournament. Utah State closed out the half on a 14-2 run as the Runnin Rebels entered halftime down 37-23.
Yeah, and Utah State just never looked back, shooting over 50% from the field. It didn't look or feel good from the tip. Here's Coach Passner after the game.
I'm proud of our guys. They've given me, us, the program, everything that they've had, and have laid it all on the floor. And Utah State was ready to go. I mean, we had obviously beat them twice, the only team to beat them at their spot, and we had in a convincing fashion.
And here to break it all down for us is the host of Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas, the great, the one, the only, Steve Cofield. Make sure you tune into his show after ours, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. So did you truly think the Runnin' Rebels could take down Utah State for a third time yesterday? And would you classify this season as a success for Coach Josh Passner?
So based on the first two games, I thought they had a shot. If they played the same sort of basketball, they had to be efficient offensively, and Utah State didn't play very good defense in the first two games, and UNLV had 86 and 92 points in the first two games, and they just didn't play with the intensity they needed to on the Utah State side. But, man, they came out from the get-go yesterday, and they were switching out of a zone, kind of a matchup zone, switching man, and they blanketed the Rebels. And one of the biggest things they did was Kamani Hamilton had way too much room in the first two games to kind of dribble himself in position to do a lot of damage, and they got in Kamani's face all game long. Dre Gibbs-Longhorn had no room at all. They did a good job switching on him with some bigs and some smalls. So that's why they're the best team in the conference. They have one of the best coaches. They had the Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year in Jared Calhoun, and he made the necessary adjustments, and his kids bought into it. And you know what they said after the game, without going too overboard, that they thought UNLV was really disrespectful, especially in the game here at the Thomas and Mack when UNLV closed it out and won by 25, and they were kind of hooting and hollering and celebrating a triple-double by Howie Fleming, and they used that as motivation. As far as the season success, well, I mean, it's hard when a team goes 17-16 and in the end 12-10 in conference to say it was a massive success, but it's also, I think you have to frame it with expectations, guys. If you thought UNLV was going to finish top four in the conference, then maybe. But I had picked them in the middle of the conference. Had Miles Shea stayed healthy, I think that would have been a much different season to play the point guard. So I think somewhat successful season in terms of the build. But you know this in college basketball, how much success can be sustained if you can't keep a lot of the key players around.
Well, that is the perfect segue to where we're about to head with this conversation, Steve, because we got to talk about NIL. That's what's dominating college sports at times like this. So you got guys like Tyron Jones, Dre Gibbs-Longhorn, when I have spoken to agents, they would say they would need around $1 million to stick around at UNLV. How likely is it that UNLV can retain some of their top guys from this season?
That's a good number, because I kept saying towards the end of the season that I thought Tyron Jones, especially as a freshman, had done enough to probably earn himself $500,000 next year NIL, and that could be at another stop. Dre Gibbs-Longhorn is probably more than that. He might be $800,000, over $1 million, or you could compare him to a guy like Donovan Dent, who went from New Mexico to UCLA. So I think they're going to need a pretty big budget. I think they will have a much bigger budget this time around than this previous year. They were a little limited in terms of budget. I think, if I were to guess, I think their budget's going to be, as a team, double or triple. And I think Josh Passner can still put in some more work. And the money people, there's some really good money people who raise this stuff with the power brokers around town. So I think UNLV for basketball can have a really healthy budget. But here's the thing, too. There's other factors, right? Tyron Jones, and especially Dre Gibbs-Longhorn, because he's only got 1 year left. Dre may be looking to go back and relive his experience at the major level. He never got to play at Illinois, so he may have that sticking in the back of his head. So I think the Rebels have a chance. I think everyone out there, or a lot of people out there, are like, hey, they don't have the money. They'll have money. I don't know if they're going to have enough money. Like we saw the good example, guys, with Anthony Calandria. UNLV was ready to pay the quarterback of the Rebels really good money, but Nebraska came in with like 4 times the money, whatever that was. I think it was in excess of, believe it or not, $2 million, but that's quarterback money. So UNLV will be in the fight. I think they can pitch some good things, and we'll see if both of the guys want to stay around.
Okay, let's shift now to some Raiders talk. It's Friday, Steve. I'm still depressed. I'm just going to be honest with you about all this fallout. I'm going to have to, sit on the therapist's couch a lot.
That means my couch.
Yes, exactly.
I have to listen to it.
Exactly, and she doesn't get paid well enough.
No.
She should get a lot more. So let's talk about this. I mean, the Crosby, Ravens, Knicks trade. Do you think this was a blessing in disguise, Steve? Because I can't cross over that hump.
No, it's not a blessing. I don't think it's a disaster. Can they move forward and be productive with Max Crosby? Sure. But their plan was in place for a rebuild. Their plan is in place to be really arriving, say, 3 years from now, when Fernando Mendoza is officially really good, if that's what happens. And now the question is with Max Crosby, based on what the Ravens said with their doctors, the Ravens were worried that Max Crosby, yes, he could be good for the next couple of years, but is that knee jacked up enough that he'll need more surgeries and that he's not great in year 3 and 4? And that's kind of when the Raiders' timeline is arriving in year 3 and 4. And here's the other thing, guys, and not enough people talk about this. It's not just Max who wanted to leave. We're going to talk about this on my show today. The Raiders were kind of done. They were ready to move on. So now you've had a guy who told them he wanted to leave. He didn't want to be there, didn't believe in the franchise, didn't believe in the new regime at head coach. Now you're welcoming him back. And I think players also moved on, and personnel people moved on. They were ready to go in a different direction. So I don't know how they smooth this out. I still think there's a solid chance that he could be traded, but I don't think it's anytime soon because they have to find a way to rebuild his value.
Right. And last thing before we let you go, there's lots of chatter online about potentially a veteran quarterback entering the mix to not only start but also mentor Fernando Mendoza should the Raiders draft him. We've seen names thrown around like Kirk Cousins, even Derek Carr. Do you think Fernando Mendoza would benefit from this, or would you rather have him be a day one starter? I don't see him starting day one. They've said that they won't.
Yeah, I'm not a personnel person. I think I know football, but these are the experts. If they don't feel like he's ready to go to make the transition immediately, then I'm fine with a bridge quarterback. I will say on Derek Carr, I think it's a non-starter. It's absolutely stupid. I don't know why we're discussing this. I'm telling you, within the organization, listen, what Max did, being insubordinate 2 weeks out from the end of the season, that was the same thing Derek Carr did. And I think Derek Carr believes he's still in good stead with Mark Davis and the rest of ownership. I don't believe he is. So come on, guys. This is Fernando Mendoza's franchise. Now you got Max Crosby, who's going to want attention. You're going to bring in Derek Carr? No way.
I love it. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
All right. We're all in unison here. Steve, you're the best. Thanks so much. ESPN Las Vegas, Cofield and Company, every day 3 to 6. Thanks, Steve.
You guys are the best. See ya.
All right, still to come on Silver State Sports Live, we're breaking down more from the Raiders free agency period. Beyond Tyler Linderbaum, who has the makeup to be a leader? Who has the makeup to be who the Raiders really need? Mariah and I are going to make our picks next.
And don't forget, the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is your home for the most live local sports. Tonight, the Tahoe Night Monsters welcome Kansas City as the Las Vegas Lights get their season underway Saturday in Colorado Springs. And on Sunday, the Desert Dogs take on Rochester. That's all this weekend right here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, taking a look here at the Raiders free agency moves thus far. The Silver and Black making it official with the guys they agreed to terms with during the tampering period. And they are currently working on deals with 2 more. They've actually made them official within the last hour. Former Steeler Connor Hayward. He's listed as a fullback. I want to come back on camera, though, because according to our producer and resident Yinzer, James Edward Barrickman IV, Hayward is, quote, dude, a bit too light in the haunches to be a fullback. So we'll see how the Raiders utilize him. They're also snagging Seahawks wide receiver and kick return specialist Derek Young. One guy who's official, though, Kwity Paye. He was on Good Morning Football this morning to talk about his dedication to his new team.
they're going to hate me because I'm going to be in that building 24/7, man. But I just want to see this team succeed and see this team win, man. I'm trying to bring the young guys along, whoever we have in that room. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to just go out there and win, bro. I'm excited. The energy in the building is infectious, you know, from top down, you know, with the GM, at the head coach, and everyone. This is just like a different energy in the building. Guys, you know, like you can just feel it, and they want guys to succeed, man. I walked into the facility yesterday, and I was so blown away. I'm like, bro, you guys have legit everything here. Like, you don't have to leave. You know, you could just live in the facility.
All right, so I love that, dude. And listen, I'm still caught up on haunches. I don't even know what that means. It doesn't sound good. But Mariah, let me ask you this, okay? Yeah. When it comes to the Raiders, we all know the commitment to excellence. We all know once a Raider, always a Raider. So let's talk about these new additions.
Yeah.
Who do you expect to have the embodiment of what it means to truly be a Raider on and off the field, just like Max Crosby has done for this community? Who's this new addition that you think is going to be that person?
Well, I sat there and was listening to all the sound from the press conferences yesterday, and I was going through, and all of them make a strong case for themselves. They're all so bought in, and I'm so excited to see how they contribute on and off the field as the season approaches. But I really like linebacker Quay Walker. He seemed really excited. He got here, immediately went to dinner with new defensive coordinator Rob Leonard, and they were working out ways that he could best be utilized. He is a very versatile guy and can be moved around. He's really excited about being used to help disguise this defense and throw offenses off track. So I am excited to see how he is inserted into the defense. You know, he already has a strong connection with Nakobe Dean, who I fear you are going to talk about next. So I'll let you handle that side of it. But you know, overall, there is a lot of excitement about this new coaching staff, a lot of belief that this team can turn things around sooner rather than later. And he's one of those guys that have really echoed that sentiment and seems really excited about what he can do. And on top of it, he started talking about his days at Georgia, and he remembers when Brock Bowers came in as a freshman and immediately knew he would be impactful. So I think that also is just a cool full circle moment here, being reunited with his former Bulldogs. I'm excited to see the impact that he has on the Raiders, both here in the community and on the field. But what about you?
I'm going with the guy that roomed with Quay Walker at University of Georgia. Mariah, give me a woof woof. Come on for these Bulldogs. Oh,
yeah,
that was a good one.
We got dogs here.
We already had Brock Bowers, and now we got to talk about Nakobe Dean, the guy that was Quay Walker's roommate in college. You know me. I love a guy with pedigree. Once I'm done talking Las Vegas, you're going to fall in love with Nakobe Dean. You move to a 3-4. What do you need in a linebacker? You need a quick, fast linebacker. You need somebody with athleticism, somebody who can do a little bit of everything. The last great linebacker we had was Robert Spillane. He's cut from the cloth of more of those old school linebacker types. Nakobe Dean, he's a new breed. This guy's 25 years old, and talk about pedigree. He should have been a first-round pick. He got dropped to the third round when he came out of the 2022 NFL draft because of a pectoral injury. This guy was not only a Dick Butkus Award winner, meaning the nation's best linebacker, he also was a top scholar at UGA. He studied mechanical engineering, Mariah.
Dang.
This guy
He's smart.
is going to be able to be what we need on that field, a captain of the defense. He's going to work great with Quay Walker. I can't wait to see what this guy does. So I think we got some good picks there, Mariah.
We definitely do. We look forward to it. Now let's move on to what's coming up next. The Golden Knights. They got a huge win last night. But where do they go from here? They snapped their losing skid. Can they keep it rolling? We've got the answers from a trusted source after the break.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, so the Vegas Golden Knights are back in the win column after snapping a 3-game skid, and it came against a team that clobbered them just a week ago, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, so it's nice to get back on track there. Here now to talk about the big win is Willie Ramirez of WGRamirez.com. So Willie, what was going right for the Knights last night as opposed to what we've seen in the past few weeks?
I'm going to give you 2 words, first name and a last name. Mark Stone.
Oh.
I honestly believe that the presence of your captain can do a wealth of good for a team. I've always likened it to when the Colorado Avalanche a few years ago lost Gabriel Landeskog, and all of a sudden this powerful offensive juggernaut just disappeared, and they were lost without him, even with the great Nathan MacKinnon on the ice. We have Jack Eichel here, you got Mitch Marner, you got Tomas Hertl, name it, Pavel Dorofeyev. Mark Stone returns, and his presence alone, just doing what he does, I feel makes this team that much better, whether he's on the stat sheet or not. And I honestly believe that they understand the urgency to win. There's that sense of urgency down the stretch here. But when your captain comes back and he's on the ice, I just think everybody steps up, even a guy like Jack Eichel. And I honestly believe that was the difference last night, was just his presence in bringing everybody up to play to their potential.
Well, Willie, it's great to see you. You know, you look so great. It looks like you're in like Sedona in like an Architectural Digest magazine right now. I'm already feeling more relaxed on this Friday seeing you. But let me ask you about this. This night's win. Is this the kind of win that can spark a turnaround? Ultimately, do you think this team can get back on track and has what it takes to make a deep playoff run?
I think the more important thing, Mike, is to point out is that I am complimenting Mariah. You see that we coordinate the colors?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you got lost on the memo.
That wasn't planned, but
can you give me? I'm itching for a compliment. Can you give me one?
You know what, Mike? Dress better, and then you'll get a compliment.
You look fine. I'm just saying, what happened to you? I thought we were all complimenting colors today. I don't know about a turnaround. I'm not sure where the jumping off point is. I think somebody sort of asked and alluded to that with Bruce Cassidy last night. He was like, hey, it's one game. Let's just wait and see. But the fact of the matter is, anything at any given time when this team can score 6 goals and Adin Hill has a great night, I think you have to look at it as a positive, because it's been starving for offense. Adin Hill has been looking for consistency, especially since that last start against the Kings right before the Olympic break. And he and I had a little bit of a sit down, and he had said that he really started taking things personal. And this is where, this was the time of the year. Last time they made, the time they made the championship run to the Stanley Cup, this is the most important month right now, because it takes you into the final stretch of the season and then into the playoffs. So I think a win like this could do a lot. It's a matter of what takes place Saturday against Chicago, what takes place against the teams where you don't have to raise, you don't have to play to the level of the other team, meaning you're playing somebody that's not going to make the playoffs. I think they have to just go game by game rather than looking at each game being a turning point or a turning corner. It can do a lot, yes, but they have to keep it going. They have to look at step by step, game by game.
Absolutely. Now we got to shift to the WNBA. The league and the players union are on to day 4 of lengthy negotiations holed up in a hotel. The latest update we got is that the league has come up in salary cap to $6.2 million. At what point do you say just take the deal and get ready for the season? We've gone back and forth on this already, but we got to keep talking about it.
Well, I mean, and I think you nailed it. I think at some point the league, the WNBPA, the Players Association, they have to understand that, hey, you're getting a lot of what you ask for. You can get a lot of what you ask for. You just can't get everything all at once. You have to at some point meet the WNBA. They're doing everything that they possibly can. When your salary cap was 1.5 and now they're offering over $6 million as your cap, that's a huge move. I do know that they're still sort of hamstrung on that revenue sharing and a little bit on the housing, and I think they'll hash it out. But these 16-hour marathons coming a little bit too late. This should have been done, in my opinion, a while back.
Yes, so what's the deal there? Why wasn't there any urgency to get a deal done? I think that's what's so striking to me. It's just, where was the urgency? We knew this was going to be the situation. Why wasn't this a priority a long time ago?
That's the $1 million question as to who was standing 10 toes down. Was it the players? Was it the league? I know there was that one meeting where the union came back and said, well, they didn't come with a counter. We met, but nobody showed up with the counter offer. Well, no, not really, because what would they counter? The last thing that was brought on the table when that comment was made, the league brought something to the table. So I think it's the union, to be honest with you, that's been a little bit more stubborn than the league in not budging. And now that they're up against it, we're seeing everyone saying, oh, they're going to strike, or they should strike. But I think that the urgency of these hours that we're seeing put in is more on the union. They do not want to strike. We talked about this the other day on the show, in the fact that the players know what they're putting a lot of fandom in jeopardy if they were to strike. So I think it behooves everybody to get this done. Why they didn't do it last month or the month before or before Unrivaled, I don't know. But it's definitely a deal I think that they're going to get done based on the diligence that they're putting in.
Absolutely. I couldn't be in more agreement. Hopefully they can get it done in the next week or so and we can get the ball rolling here. But Willie, it was so great to see you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so glad we match. We'll catch you soon, all right? Thank you so much.
I'll save that
Mike,
compliment for next time.
We will get you in on the fashion memo next time around, Mike.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you guys
Thanks.
after a short break.
Appreciate you.
All right, it's game day for the Red, White, and Blue. Team USA is gearing up for the WBC quarterfinals, taking on Team Canada tonight.
Yeah, and after that doozy of a loss to Italy that nearly cost them this quarterfinal berth, USA manager Mark DeRosa is switching up the lineup. Bryce Harper back at first instead of Paul Goldschmidt, your favorite.
My fave.
Yep, and then opposite corner, Alex Bregman's back in rather than Gunnar Henderson. Cal Raleigh's catching for Logan Webb as he gets the nod. It's a 5 p.m. first pitch on Fox.
All right, so now you know a relationship is going to go the distance when you start pulling out
Ooh.
custom emoji shirts to honor your partner. You can
Yes.
see Asia Wilson did just that for Bam Adebayo. You see on the left, the 100 emoji.
Yes.
That's for Wilt Chamberlain.
Thank you.
The right side for Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, 81, and then in the middle, Bam Adebayo, 83 points. What do you think of that shirt?
That's actually so fly. I want one.
If it's dry fit, I'll wear it every day.
Yeah, you perspire a bit.
And Willie will think my style's great.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.